Division rival since 1970. Saints have had the edge over the last 6 years, winning 10 of the last 12. In fact, Saints and Falcons have gone to overtime in each of the last 2 seasons. Mike Smith on the right, all-time winningest coach in Falcons history. Perfect 8-0 this season. On the other sideline, Joe Vitt, his 3rd game as Saints interim head coach, following his 6-week suspension. Aaron Kromer coached the first 6. Falcons have won the toss. Thomas Morstead gets things started. Quiz Rogers back deep for the Falcons, who will start at their own 20-yard line. Led out onto the field by the 5th-year quarterback out of Boston College, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan being mentioned as an MVP candidate, having a great year. I really think that Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator of the Falcons, has been a real good fit for Matt Ryan. You know, Mike Smith told us he's got a guy that he sees things from a quarterback's perspective now, answering a lot of questions, designing an offense where he knows where that ball has to go, and it's coming out quick.
Going the league in completion percentage. On first down, Ryan hands it off to Michael Turner, and he is bottled up. It is the former Falcon, Curtis Lofton, along with David Hawthorne, hitting Turner in the backfield for a loss of 3.
Well, you start off with a negative play on a run, but you can't get rid of the run. These guys up front have to know that they're going to be able to put their hand down and fire off this ball and get Michael Turner going. Mike Cox added this week as a fullback, a lead blocker. You've got great skill players there, but they've got to find a way to make all of this work complementarily on the offensive side.
Second down and 13. Ryan throws for the first time. Catch is made by Roddy White. But he's tackled after a gain of just 3 by Malcolm Jenkins, one of the leaders of this Saints defense. They allow 471 yards per game, last in the NFL.
Yeah, they're just getting torched. But last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, we saw the blitz. We saw them have success with the blitz. We saw it on the opening play here. My question is that going to be the MO the entire afternoon? If you do that to Matt Ryan with those skill players on the outside, he will make you play. Steve Spagnuolo has to be balanced.
Ryan on 3rd and 10. He throws, and the catch is made out across the 30 by Roddy White for a Falcons first down.
Good composure by the Falcons in this opening series, right? You have that negative play to start with Michael Turner. You don't panic, you come out, you convert for the first down.
On 3rd and 10, White gains 11. Ryan with time on first down, wide open, the tight end, Tony Gonzalez. That is career reception number 1,200. Only Jerry Rice had reached that mark previously.
Now that is rarefied air when all of a sudden you start getting mentioned in the same breath as Jerry Rice. And this is the problem when you play the Atlanta Falcons. You get fixated on Roddy White and Julio Jones on the outside and their big playmaking capability. And now you've got Tony Gonzalez running free in the middle.
So many weapons. Play action on first down. Ryan going deep for Roddy White. And White makes the catch at the Saints 1-yard line, a 49-yard completion.
Wow, that Saints defense is really rolling the dice. Pressure up the middle, Roddy White on the outside, stutter and go. This ball is thrown perfectly.
Number 79 has reported as eligible. Number 79.
White just got that right foot down in bounds. 49 yards from Ryan to White. First and goal from the New Orleans 1. It is Turner. And he's stopped. Saints with a huge 3rd and 10 conversion to keep this drive alive. They lead the league in points scored on their opening possession. 27 points. 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but the New Orleans Saints had a huge goal line stand in the Tampa Bay game. Maybe the defining moment of the season. We'll see if they can pull off another one right here to open this game.
That's the blocker, number 79, Mike Johnson. On second and goal off the fake. Ryan to the end zone. Touchdown. It is Johnson who is in as the extra blocker. And the Falcons, for the 5th time this season, have scored a touchdown on their first possession.
Well, you get these big tackles coming in these goal line packages, and you expect run, and you kind of lose track of them from time to time. Look at the sell by Mike Johnson. That is outstanding. That is great knowledge by an offensive tackle to not just release to the flat on your route. He sold the pass protection and then slipped into the flat.
Here's Matt Bryant for the extra point.
Ball's gone, ball.
Falcons lead 7-0. Bryant perfect, 5 for 5 on the drive. It's Mike Johnson in the end zone for an early score. An early lead for the Falcons as Matt Ryan hit Roddy White on a 49-yard reception, and then Mike Johnson in as an extra blocker, 3rd season out of the University of Alabama, scores his first career touchdown. Kickoff taken by Travaris Cadet for the injured Darren Sproles, and Cadet is out to the 25-yard line. So Drew Brees and the Saints offense on the field for the first time in a 7-point hole.
And I just think there's so much temptation to go back to Monday night and say New Orleans has to come out and run the ball. Commit to that run. You got Drew Brees. You got an offense that puts up incredible numbers in the passing game. Do you need to strike a balance? Absolutely. But always understand what the main function of this offense is, and that's putting the ball in Drew Brees' hands.
Brees out of the shotgun on 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line, and a diving interception is made by Asante Samuel on the Saints' first play from scrimmage. He's chased down and tackled by Marcus Colston for Samuel, the former Patriot and Eagle. It's his 2nd interception of the season.
Could you have imagined a better start if you're an Atlanta Falcon fan? Look at Asante Samuel cross in front of Devery Henderson on that missed throw by Drew Brees. Wow, that is athletic on the catch.
At the conclusion of the play, excessive demonstration. Offense, number 22 and 25. 15-yard penalty will be added. It'll be 1st down and 10.
So Samuel celebrating after the play with William Moore. Across the Falcons 15 yards.
All right, and look at Mike Smith. Mike Smith's over there with him right now going, that's a great play. But what do we talk about? We talk about penalties, controlling our emotions during the course of this game. Football is an emotional game, but you've got to have control of those emotions. Wait till you get to the sideline for your celebration. I love the fact that Mike Smith got over there right away on a huge play. Look at, his face is turning red right now.
Yeah, he's a stickler for the little things. So being my coach in Baltimore, I remember he used to get on top of you for the littlest things, but they made the biggest difference.
Falcons the least penalized team in the entire league. Here's Turner on 1st down. And Turner able to gain 4 down to the Saints 23-yard line. Mike Smith
he's still
discussing it with Samuel.
Well, now, everybody goes their separate ways. Okay, I came over, I made my point. Asante's going to go cool off. Coach Smith's going to go cool off. Now let's get back together. All right, and here we go. I think. I don't know. Maybe it's still going on.
2nd down and 6. Quiz Rogers in the backfield. From the Saints 24. Ryan to Jason Snelling. Snelling down at the 19-yard line. Picks up 5.
Well, one of the things that Steve Spagnuolo told us about Matt Ryan was he is so decisive. He is so quick to deliver the football, and you look at him at 6 for 6 today. That is the thing that has jumped out to me at the early stage of this game, is how quick he is making his decisions and getting that ball where he wants it to go based on what the Saints are doing from a coverage standpoint.
3rd down and 1 for Atlanta. Here's Turner, and he's bottled up. Again, Curtis Walker, the first Saint, in on the tackle, so Atlanta following the New Orleans turnover, will send out the field goal unit.
That defensive line for the Saints clog everything up inside. They're all pitching inside. Curtis Lofton does a nice job sliding outside and picking up Michael Turner and bringing him down for a loss.
Yeah, but look at Corey White, number 24, your corner, who steps up as run support. He's the guy that makes first contact.
Well, here's Matt Bryant, 37-yard attempt from the right hash. He missed 2 against Dallas on Sunday night. Bryant connects. So with 5:41 gone here in the first quarter, not the start the Saints had in mind. Falcons lead 10-0. What a start for the Atlanta Falcons. Go 80 yards on their opening drive. Force the New Orleans turnover. And then Bryant connecting from 37. Another opportunity for the rookie out of Appalachian State, Tavares Cadet. Tackled as he crosses the 20. Drew Brees, one play, and a pick. Back in a moment. New Orleans Saints coming off a 13-win season. Started this season 0-4. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. Trail by 10 early. Joe Vint, interim head coach. Big start from the 22-yard line. Finding a hole is Mark Ingram. Ingram gains 5.
And I think that is going to be the interesting thing to watch through the course of this game, is how do they find that balance with the run game and the passing game. This is a very good offensive line up front. The running back by committee with Mark Ingram and Pierre Thomas and Chris Ivory. It is a tough group to handle, but the skill set on the outside, Tony talked about the matchup with Jimmy Graham as the tight end. It's tough defending these guys in the pass.
Brees on 2nd and 5. Complete for a first down to Marcus Colston out at the 34-yard line. Gain of 7 as we check out the 19th-ranked Falcons defensive unit.
And this is a tough duty for this group right here. John Abraham has to make a presence today rushing the quarterback. They cannot allow Drew Brees to stand in that pocket and throw the ball. Tony mentioned the linebacker group. This is a thin group. How do they hang out during the course of the day against Jimmy Graham, stopping the run? It's an undersized group defensively.
Here's Ingram with Eric Olsen in as an extra blocker. And a nice run by the former Heisman Trophy winner. Finally brought down by Mike Peterson after a gain of 8.
I just think you saw a difference in Mark Ingram on Monday night. You know, he battled some injuries last season. He had a limited offseason getting ready for the year. I think he's finally healthy, and we're seeing the Mark Ingram that the New Orleans Saints drafted. And he is running with a purpose, very physical, very aggressive. You could tell at practice on Friday there was a different speed.
Pierre Thomas back in, 2nd down and 2. Inside handoff, Thomas looks to bounce it outside, comes back inside, and picks up a Saints first down. Saints continue to shuffle backs as Ingram checks back in for Thomas. Sproles out in last week's game. Chris Ivory saw action for the first time this season. Here's set of downs for New Orleans.
That was one of the luxuries they had coming out of training camp. And there's Darren Sproles right there on the sideline with the broken hand. Out indefinitely at this point, not sure when he's going to get back, and he's another matchup issue. So it's kind of shifted a little bit. When you have Darren Sproles in the lineup, you're going to be a little bit more heavier pass because he presents a matchup problem in the passing game coming out of the backfield.
Now it is Ivory in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line off the fake. Brees looking for Colston. Brees under pressure, and time for a game break. We check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, the Giants on the road and in a hole at Cincinnati. This is Andy Dalton hooking up with Andrew Hawkins. First 2 possessions, the Bengals have scored touchdowns on each, and they lead the Giants 14-0 early on in the first quarter. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Bengals have lost their last 4. Early lead on the Giants. On 2nd and 10, it's Chris Ivory cutting to the outside. He turns the corner. Picks up the Saints first down and more. Ivory still going. One man to beat. Fends off Dante Robinson, and he is in for a 56-yard touchdown run.
I think not only from a production standpoint, but from a mentality standpoint, Chris Ivory can really jumpstart this offense. Watch this individual effort. I mean, he should be tackled at the line of scrimmage or for a loss. Asante Samuel, that is terrible on an angle. And then I want you to watch Dante Robinson here at the end. Take a nice stiff arm, and then that's it. His style of running energizes this team. You heard the crowd.
Longest run of Ivory's career. Gary Hartley, the extra point. We just mentioned Ivory played for the first time this season last week due to the Sproles injury. Take that, Dante. 10-7 Atlanta. Chris Ivory led the Saints in rushing 2 seasons ago. Injuries limited him to 6 games last year. Drew Brees refers to him as baby brontosaurus.
You know, the big thing about Chris Ivory, you've got to have frustration being on the sideline watching. You want to be on that field, but they have so much depth at the running back position. But he was ready when his opportunity presented itself, and he has taken advantage of it.
Sense of urgency.
Falcons will start from their own 20-yard line to look at the teams that have started 8-0 in the Super Bowl era. That's the last 46 season.
Now we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons right here now at 8-0. It bodes well for them. You look, 12 of the 18 made the Super Bowl. 8 won the Super Bowl. So Mike Smith has done a great job with his team with their attention to detail. Now, this game has not started out well when you talk about the things that he preaches. The penalty with Asante Samuel, William Moore, and the poor tackling on Chris Ivory's run.
But the Falcons lead by 3. Ryan on first down, complete to Roddy White for a gain of 11. Roddy now in his 8th season, finished 2nd in the league last year to only Wes Welker, 100 receptions, his numbers this season.
Yeah, and I think that he's at the point in his career right now where he's matured, and he knows that for Atlanta to do something really special this year, it's not about his stats, it's about the team functioning well. And he's kind of put a lot of that aside. He knows Julio Jones is an up-and-coming playmaker in this league. He's got the great Tony Gonzalez at tight end, who's been a great mentor for this entire offense.
Similar to the Saints, so many weapons on offense for the Falcons. Ryan on first down to the outside, and there is Julio Jones. And the second-year receiver out of Alabama picks up yet another Falcons first down. Roddy White told us yesterday, we don't care who makes the play as long as somebody makes it.
And they do. Somebody is going to make the play. I mean, they've got multiple 100-yard receiving games during the course of the year when you look at Roddy White and Julio Jones. I mean, and then when you try and cover those guys, you know, against Washington, Tony Gonzalez goes 13 catches for over 100 yards. I mean, you know, pick your poison.
Very unselfish team did that, Falcons.
From the 42, hand off to Turner up the middle. So when you decide to keep it on the ground, you have Michael Turner, who led the NFC in rushing last season with over 1,300 yards.
And he's gotten forgotten, in my opinion, over the last season and a half, because you did have all these great playmakers on the outside, but don't forget, a lot of it starts with that man right there, and if you can get him going, now your play action falls into place. Now defenses have to commit that 8th guy down into the box, and that makes things easier for your guys on the outside.
Yeah, it makes it easier for Matt Ryan. Look at right here. First down, 6 yards. Now you got 2nd and 4. Now the defense is guessing what you're going to do on offense.
Ryan fakes the handoff, and then the slant to Jones. Makes a couple of nice moves. And is into Saints territory. Brought down about a yard shy of the marker, so the Falcons now facing a 3rd down and 1.
Getting these quick screens on the outside. Julio Jones is in the slot. He's going to come off the ball a little bit, then come back. You got Harry Douglas, number 83, working on the outside, bringing your tackle Tyson Clavo out there to get involved.
Yeah, them offensive linemen do a nice job of getting on the perimeter, getting to that 2nd level. Downfield, that's when you get the big plays, when you're blocking downfield.
third down and 1. Falcons use their first timeout.
Timeout. Atlanta.
Atlanta leading by 3, trying to remain perfect in New Orleans. Julio Jones, tended to by the Falcons medical staff. On the sidelines, third down and 1. Ryan throws, and the pass is short. Intended for Jason Snelling.
Well, the Saints brought the blitz. They freeze them up a little bit once they get into the backfield. Matt Ryan takes a nice shot right there.
Number 90, Turk McBride, and for Ryan, his first incompletion started the game 9 for 9. Lance Moore back deep, waiting Matt Fosher's punt. End over end kick, and a fair catch is called for right around the 10 by Lance Moore. Well, the Saints trailing by 3 here in the first quarter. But during the month of November, Darryl, they have won 12 consecutive games.
Yeah, very impressive. And, you know, you heard again at the top, we talk about Drew Brees, and we own this division. And in the month of November, you know, they've got so much confidence coming into this game. You see the numbers that they're putting up, and then especially in this building, it's just, it's a different place to play.
They start from the 10-yard line. It's Ingram up the middle, hard to bring him down. Ingram gains 5.
Man, there was nothing there. Mark Ingram does a great job of finding the smallest crease, getting through. The defensive line pretty much had it solid up on the line of scrimmage. Look at that difference in the rushing yards right there, huh?
56 for Ivory on the touchdown run. Ingram in the backfield, second down and 5. 3 wide receivers. As Brees fires, and Gucci talked about him in the open, it's Jimmy Graham. Saints tight end who caught a franchise record 99 balls last year. Graham gains 13.
Here's Jimmy Graham here on the right-hand side. The athleticism this guy has is unbelievable. Does a great job of going and covering the ball up with 2 hands right there and getting vertical. Tell you what, though, you got to watch him in warm-ups now. This guy dumps the basketball, jumps up. I mean, just standing next to the guy, you feel like you're, you know, on the basketball court.
Played 4 years of basketball at the University of Miami.
Huge guy.
Blocked a lot of shots. And now Brees downfield for another first down. It's Lance Moore out at the 47-yard line, a 19-yard completion.
Now you've kind of softened up this defense with the run game, just a little casual play action. Drew Brees has got that second tier open. Here comes Lance Moore, pushing up, breaking to the outside.
Well, that's what the run game does. You saw Corey Bierman there on the outside, sort of hesitating, looking for the run, and it slows down that pass rush, gives Drew a little bit more extra time, and then in the backfield to find his receivers.
The lane handoff to Thomas. Runs into Mike Peterson after a gain of 3. Julio Jones injured earlier on the Falcons' last possession. Heading off into the Falcons' locker room. 2 catches so far for Julio. Eric Olsen in as an extra blocker for the Saints. Second down and 7. The toss to Chris Ivory, who has the New Orleans touchdown. Good second effort. And Ivory takes it down to the 47-yard line.
There's a couple of guys that you think about, the way they run the football, their running style, how physical it is, that kind of jumpstart a team. You know, DeMarco Murray down in Dallas, you know, Marshawn Lynch out in Seattle, Adrian Peterson up in Minnesota. They run so physical that it kind of just gets that offense pumped up, especially the offensive line. Chris Ivory is one of those guys.
I'll tell you what, Akeem Dent made him look really good with that missed tackle that you talked about earlier, Darryl. Atlanta is not tackling well at all.
Brees with time on third down and 4. It's complete for another first down to Lance Moore and Robert McClain draped all over him. Moore able to gain 7 yards, and the Saints once again move the chains.
Just confidence in the relationship. And Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator for Atlanta, said one of the hardest things to defend against New Orleans is the fact that this offense has been kind of tailored around what Drew Brees does well. And you can see this short passing game, the confidence that he has, the feel that he's developed with his receivers.
Empty backfield. Quick out to Travaris Cadet. And Cadet takes it to the Falcons' 30-yard line. That's his first NFL reception. We've seen 4 different running backs on the last 4 plays for the Saints as they continue to shuffle personnel. New Orleans on the move as the first quarter comes to an end, trailing the unbeaten Falcons by 3.
Been watching head coach Mike Smith during the commercial. He had to walk 200 yards up and down that sideline, and that's one of the problems that the Saints create for you when you're playing that team. You never feel safe. You never feel comfortable.
We start the second quarter as Brees hands it off to Ingram, and he's finally tackled by Stephen Nicholas after a gain of 7. So New Orleans now with 89 yards on the ground.
And the defense has every gap filled. Look at this right here. He just keeps his legs going, Ingram, and just goes forward. The hard runner, Darryl.
All of them are. Everybody in that backfield.
On 2nd and 3, it's Ingram once again, first down to the Falcons' 16-yard line.
And Mark Ingram did a great job of cutting back 3 holes. Flag on the play.
Only 1 penalty in the first quarter. Here's Tony
At
Correnti.
the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 69. 15-yard penalty will result in a first down, 10 yards to gain.
That's on Eric Olson, who the Saints have used on a number of plays today as an extra blocker.
Well, what he does is the play is over. You watch him right here. He's going to come and try to clean up. The whistle's blown right about now, and he went into the pile and just tried to, you see him right there laying right on top. That's him right there cleaning up. Can't do that kind of stuff.
Olson to the sidelines. 1st and 10 following the penalty from the 31 as Lance Moore makes the catch. His 3rd reception, short gain. Forced out of bounds by McLean.
I think the tough thing for the Atlanta defense right now, as well as New Orleans is running the football, is when do we commit that 8th guy down into the box? When do we really commit to, hey, we've got to slow this run down. These backs are starting to gain some big yards on us, and if we don't change what we're doing, and boy, that's a tough decision to leave 3 in your secondary.
Brees on 2nd and 8. It's Jimmy Graham for a Saints touchdown.
It's a nice play design. You've got that little wide receiver screen. You come out, you pump the wide receiver screen. You get your defense to react to that, to step up. But you've got Jimmy Graham running down the seam. Watch, come out, quick little pump out to that screen. And oh boy, we got number 80 coming right down the middle of the field. Look at everybody step up. Look at all the defenders for Atlanta step up on that pump fake to that wide receiver screen.
Yeah, that's a credit to not only the screen, but the run game also. The linebackers are fearful of it.
6th touchdown reception for Graham this season. Partly the extra point, so the Saints, who trailed early 10-0, now lead by 4. Second time, Jimmy. There it is. You hungry, Darryl?
I am now. I wasn't before.
Some good food down here in New Orleans.
Well, the Saints were hungry for some points after falling behind 10-0. Drew Brees extending his NFL record, touchdown pass in 52 consecutive games. Johnny Unitas, the previous record holder, 47 straight. So the undefeated Atlanta Falcons find themselves in a 4-point hole. Falcons losing Julio Jones on that last series, so Drew Davis, who has 2 receptions this season, number 19, out of the University of Oregon, is in along with Harry Douglas, number 83. 3 wide receivers set. Roddy White spread out wide to the right. Davis in the slot. This is Turner. And Michael Turner takes it out close to a first down. 9-yard pickup.
And now it becomes even more critical for Michael Turner to be productive. Without Julio Jones on the outside, this Saints defense is going to be able to adjust their philosophy. They're not going to be as worried about Harry Douglas as they are Julio Jones. So they'll be able to come in and be more protective of that box count to try and stop Michael Turner.
On 2nd and 1, it's Turner. He stumbles, dives forward. He's close. Turner picks up the first. Falcons scored on their first 2 possessions. Matt Ryan, touchdown pass to offensive lineman Mike Johnson, giving Atlanta a 7-0 lead. Then Drew Brees picked off on the Saints' first play from scrimmage. Falcons get the field goal, led 10-0. Mike Johnson back in, number 79. On first down, it's Jaquiz Rogers. He spins out to the 33-yard line. Gain of 3. Turk McBride made the tackle.
And I think that Jaquiz Rogers is now becoming a bigger part of this Atlanta offense, too. For a while there, he was a changeup to Michael Turner and a guy who had plays on the edge. But now they're really starting to give him opportunities between the tackles and become really not just a changeup guy, but, hey, when Michael Turner needs a break, we're putting you in. You need to be able to do everything we do offensively.
Gonzalez in motion, 2nd and 7. Ryan throws for the first time on this possession, and it is nearly picked off by Roman Harper. Roddy White, the intended receiver.
Ball looked like it was tipped on a line of scrimmage, maybe.
Roddy White coming from the outside. Good positioning by Roman Harper. That's great. Matt Ryan cannot make that throw. Even with the tip at the line of scrimmage, Tony, Roman Harper played it perfect.
Excellent.
Ryan on 3rd down and 7. He fires, and out at the 46-yard line, it is Tony Gonzalez who picks up a Falcons first down.
That offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons did a great job on that play. They brought a little bit of pressure, but Tony Gonzalez goes downfield, and Matt Ryan has a clear alley to find him right down the center of the field because of the offensive line.
It's not bad coverage by Malcolm Jenkins, but it's just, I mean, he's so good with his routes.
Rogers shifts into the backfield from the 45-yard line on first down. This is Rogers, cuts it back, and is able to gain 1. So 2nd down and 9 upcoming for the Falcons.
Let's go back to the last series. Julio Jones on that quick little screen. I think it's right in here on this hard cut to get back to the outside. We saw him on the sideline with them looking at the ankle. The only other opportunity is right here as he gets tackled. Right there, kind of gets fallen on.
Yeah, it looks like it rolled a little bit there. Really surprised they let him walk all the way to the locker room on it.
Penalty marker as Gonzalez makes the catch at the Saints 41. First down yardage, but there is a flag.
Holding, defense number 94. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
That's on Cameron Jordan.
Roddy White's going to be your underneath guy right there. You can see the grab and pull. Here comes the flag. There's the throw down the field to Tony Gonzalez. I think if Cameron Jordan just would have knocked Roddy White down, you know, that's fine. You're inside 5 yards, but I think by grabbing the jersey, maybe even a little bit of face mask is where he got his flag. All you had to do was knock Roddy White down.
From the Saints 41, Carter in the backfield. Ryan steps up and fires, and the catch is made by White for another Falcons first down at the Saints 15-yard line. White gains 26 and hits 100 for the game already.
Wow, I mean, he is wide open on this. Watch, we've got zone coverage, but you talk about a soft zone. My goodness. That's making it easy for Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Roman Harper was over the top, but
it was the underneath, I think,
yeah.
Tony. The underneath coverage in that zone has got to get more
nobody
depth.
was there.
5 receptions, 100 yards for Roddy White. From the Saints 15. This is Turner. Cameron Jordan lost his helmet, makes the tackle.
Cameron Jordan does a nice job. Tony Gonzalez starts locking with him. Watch it here on the right-hand side. Tony Gonzalez, then he just keeps coming outside. Claybo tried to get a little bit of piece of him, but he was just determined right there. Nice job of just keep working upfield with no helmet on, too.
Loss of a yard, second down and 11. Rodgers in the backfield. And a timeout. Saints use their first.
Timeout. New Orleans. This is their first.
Looked like they had 12 men on the field. Joe Vitt noticed. Called the timeout, running down the sideline. Julio Jones has returned from the locker room to the Falcons sideline.
Yeah, but still in discussion. I think one of the men from the training staff there trying to find out exactly how he feels right now. He was battling injuries during the course of his rookie season, and the last thing you want to do is have him nicked up all year long.
Missed 3 games last year. 10th play of the drive for the Falcons. Second down and 11. Ryan, nice soft touch. The tight end, Michael Palmer. Palmer down at the 11-yard line.
But just taking what the defense is giving you, you've got Tony Gonzalez on the deeper route, and you get Michael Palmer to pop out in front of you. And Matt Ryan off to a good start.
But the Falcons facing a third down and 6. Need to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. Ryan on third down. He fires, and Gonzalez able to make the catch. And he picks up first down yardage.
All right, we've got red flags everywhere, right? We've got Tony Gonzalez in the red zone on third down. Okay, let's keep an eye on him. So we're going to bunch him out. Okay, Malcolm Jenkins, 27, is going to have him in coverage. Now we're going to motion in. Now, okay, we're moving over with Corey White. Watch this release. I mean, really? Third down, red zone? I mean, you got to play that guy tighter than that. He's too talented. He's got too much experience to be able to find that soft spot. To think that Curtis Lofton's going to be able to cover him by himself.
But they only brought 3 guys on the rush. They had 8 guys who dropped back there.
Look out for number 79. Mike Johnson back in the game. Scored the first touchdown. And this time it is Ryan to the corner of the end zone. But Gonzalez unable to make the catch in bounds.
He's a new scoring threat down in the red zone.
Kenny.
This is a good job by Roman Harper. You know, it's one of those situations. It's a fade. It's going to be one-on-one, physical. The ball is thrown in a good spot, but a good job by Roman Harper getting his hands up there battling.
And getting his head around to see when the ball was coming.
Johnson remains in. Mike Cox, the fullback. There's Palmer in motion. Second and goal from the 1. It is Turner, and he is tackled from behind by Broderick Bunkley.
Yeah, but it was penetration on the other side that really made the play here, Kenny.
Yeah, look at those gold helmets. They're 2 yards deep in the Falcons' backfield. Hard for Michael Turner to go and make a cut. When you have guys on either side of you, you got to go straight ahead, and that's the linebackers are looking for.
Third and goal from the 2. Play clock winding down. Timeout taken by the Falcons.
Well, if you were going to ever go and try out to see if Julio Jones was okay, this would be a pretty good opportunity right here. It's not like he's got to run down the field a long way. And you need a big, tall body that can go up and get the ball. You agree, Darryl?
I like that. I like the scenario of a fade where he's just got to elevate, but how much does that ankle prevent him from elevating? I would not do anything where he had to make a sharp cut at this point. You slip on that again, and we saw a big interception for a return against the Eagles on Monday night in this situation. So,
yeah, but even if he's in there, they're going to go and they're going to be worried about him.
I agree. He put him out there, draw some attention, check the fade, but I don't know if they have the confidence that he's 100% yet to be able to get back out there.
So Jones remains on the sideline. 3rd and goal. Ryan out of the shotgun. Ryan looking, he throws, and with Jenkins draped all over him, Gonzalez makes the catch for the 100th touchdown of his career.
Again, Malcolm Jenkins has got good coverage.
Look at the concentration on the ball, brings it to his body.
Breaks the plane.
Unbelievable. And he talks about retiring after this year. I think he's got a couple more years left in him, huh, Darryl?
He told us during the preseason he's 95% sure.
Well, you still got that 5% that he could come back.
Left the door open. Here's Bryant adding the extra point. Falcons back on top by 3 as Ryan celebrates. Falcons drive 80 yards. Tony Gonzalez becomes the 8th player in league history with 100 touchdown receptions. He is now tied for 6th overall. Tim Brown and Steve Largent also with exactly 100. Cadet will take a knee. Saints will start from the 20. One more look. Ryan to Gonzalez. Mike Smith's Falcons perfect at 8-0. Nearly 200 yards of offense. And we are not yet out of the second quarter.
I just think he wrote down in that notebook, don't know how to cover Tony Gonzalez. Keep throwing him the ball.
Well, Joe Vitt knows all about Tony Gonzalez. Spent 4 years together in Kansas City. Been a member of the Chiefs coaching staff. On first down, it's Ingram. Samuel comes up to make the tackle, gain of 2. What a career.
He's unbelievable. I mean, at this stage of his career to be as good as he is, and we all talk about as you get older in the league, you learn things. I mean, I don't know if anybody can cover that guy one-on-one. He has so much knowledge. He's so good with his route running.
First ballot Hall of Famer, no question about it. As Ivory finds a hole. Chris Ivory picks up the Saints first down as we head to Los Angeles. A game break with Patrick O'Neal. Patrick.
Teddy, thanks a lot. Bucks and the Chargers. San Diego to punt. Cyphers gets it blocked by Dakota Watson. Off special teams will win you ball games. Adam Hayward, 29-yard touchdown. Both these teams 4-4, and the Bucks now lead the Chargers 17-14. Cue the cannons. Kenny, Moose, and Goose, back to you.
All right, thanks, Patrick. Here in New Orleans, Falcons lead by 3. First and 10 for the Saints from the 30. Breeze off the play fake, going deep, and it is off the hands of Devery Henderson. With Dante Robinson on the coverage.
That is just scary right there, because this is their big shot down the field. This is big play action, max pass pro. Devery Henderson one-on-one with Dante Robinson in the middle of the field. Just misses.
And Dante Robinson gave him a big cushion there also to run, huh?
He loves to compete. I mean, I've never seen him. Friday practice, he gets mad at himself when he misses stuff.
On second and 10, it's Ingram. And to talk about the competitiveness of Drew Brees, the story that we've heard on a number of occasions from Sean Payton. During the Saints bye week back in 2006, Sean went to the facility, the team's practice facility, re-simulated an entire game from noon until 3 p.m. New Orleans time.
Nobody can match his preparation. You talk about the great ones in the NFL, whether it's Breeze or Manning, Brady, one of the common denominators of those guys is their preparation. You are not going to surprise them on a Sunday afternoon.
Penalty markers, it's a false start.
False start, offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Jimmy Graham.
I think he was so eager to go and get off the line of scrimmage, just losing his balance a little bit. He tried, though. He tried to hold it. He's Tony Gonzalez on the other side of the field, making all these catches. You know, he wants to go and compete.
Braves with time on third down and 9, and that pass could not be handled by Graham.
He's got the most drops in the NFL this season, which is surprising. I mean, he's got more drops now than he had all of last year. And that's two tough plays by Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, Stephen Nicholas on the right on him. That ball could have been in a better spot.
8 drops coming into this game by Graham. Morstead punting from his own 20-yard line. Taken at the 18 by Dominique French. A turn of 5 yards.
Lots of offense to start this game. It came on the opening drive by the Atlanta Falcons with a big pass down the sideline to Roddy White. I think Chris Ivory, just a great run. Very physical. Great play design there by the Saints on that little quick wide receiver screen, and then back to Jimmy Graham down the middle of the field. And Malcolm Jenkins, I feel your pain. I don't know how you cover that guy in that situation one-on-one. He is just a handful.
Still no Julio Jones for the Falcons. Under 4 minutes remaining, second quarter. Falcons lead by 3. Start from their own 23-yard line. A stutter step by Turner, gets back to the line of scrimmage. And then he's wrapped up first by Akeem Hicks, rookie third-round draft pick. So Turner able to gain 1.
Well, you know they're committed to the run when you got 8 guys in the box. Watch Michael Turner right here, just looking for a lane. Knows that, you know, with 8 guys, there's not much room, but just keeps fighting, driving forward, and gets a couple. He's a warrior right there, Darryl.
Only 17 yards on the ground for the Falcons. Turner out, Rodgers in. Bunch formation to the left. Ryan looking on 2nd and 9. Harry Douglas, the intended receiver, so 3rd and 9. Upcoming for the Falcons, who lead by 3.
I think he just lost Harry Douglas right there. You know, Harry still is not a big guy. His offensive linemen have their hands up. Right. Matt's face right there. There's an empty backfield.
Falcons must get to the 33 as Ryan is gripped up and then bounces on the football back at the 22-yard line.
Really got to compliment this defensive line of the Saints, because a lot of these now are 3- and 4-man pressures just with the down guys. This is just a 4-man rush here, and they're collapsing that pocket and getting Matt Ryan off of his spot.
First time either team has gone 3 and out today. Lance Moore back deep for the Saints, awaiting Bosher's kick. There is a flag. Fair catch called for by Moore at the 26.
Well, your outside gunner is going to be called for illegal motion. He came in but did not get set.
Illegal motion on the offense. Wide receiver was in motion at the time of the snap. New Orleans has opted to accept the penalty at the end of the kick, first down.
Yeah, Mike Smith talking to Jason Snelling right there because he's a personal protector and he wasn't on the field. And then as you're getting ready to kick, you've got Chris Owens coming in late, and if he has to be added, he just has to know that. He's got to be able to get inside with time to reset. So very sloppy on the Atlanta special teams right there.
Yeah, Jason Snelling was calling him to come in to try and extend that side of the line a little bit, worried about the block. Got to get set.
So the penalty gives the Saints their best starting field position today from their own 31. 2:17 remaining, first half here in New Orleans. Breeze out of the shotgun, inside handoff, and Thomas takes it out to the 35-yard line for a gain of 4. As the clock runs down towards the 2-minute warning with the unbeaten 8-0 Falcons leading the 3-5 Saints by 3. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints trailing by 3. 2 minutes remaining, second quarter. Saints with 2 timeouts remaining. Brees on 2nd and 6. Couple of pump fakes. Now he fires downfield. And it is Dante Robinson on the coverage. Nearly comes up with the pick. Pass was intended for Lance Moore.
I want to see how Drew Brees held onto this football.
Yeah, it got it hit.
I think John Abraham coming from the right side, his left side, right there, gets an arm on the elbow. What great strength right there. It is. Lance Moore turns and goes. That kind of turned him loose. Almost makes the play coming back for it.
So now the Saints facing a 3rd down and 6. They must get to the 41. Play clock winding down. Saints get the snap away. And then Brees throws and it's caught for a first down by Jimmy Graham. Takes it into Falcons territory. An 18-yard pass play.
Yeah, that's tough. That's Stephen Nicholas. That's your outside linebacker working one-on-one with Jimmy Graham. Tony talked about it at the top. A linebacker group that's thinned by injury. How they're going to match up with that tight end.
Brees had that pass deflected. Clock stops with 1:23 remaining in this second quarter.
Defensive lineman for the Atlanta Falcons, keeping your eye on Drew Brees and the ball, getting your hand up. That's a huge play for a defensive lineman right there.
Corey Peters getting the hand on it, Goose.
Yeah, just opportunity for that secondary to go and get an interception.
Second and 10. Brees steps up and throws again. It is Graham, his 4th catch today. He has a touchdown, gains 15 more yards and a Saints first down.
Yeah, Stephen Nicholas once again tried to get a little help also, but that is a mismatch right there, Darryl. There's no way that you can put a linebacker man-to-man coverage on a guy like Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, that one was on, and then he just found the soft spot right in between the two guys.
Under a minute remaining. Saints still with 2 timeouts. Another pump fake, a second pump fake. And now Brees connects with Lance Moore at the Falcons' 20-yard line.
Well, he just makes you guard the entire field. I mean, watch as he scans through this, checking the left side first, going back towards the middle. Then he's coming all the way back to the right side. That puts a lot of pressure on your secondary and your linebackers.
And drive you crazy if you were a safety.
12-yard gain, 1st and 10 from the Falcons' 20. Brees able to get rid of it to Thomas. And Thomas is down to the 14-yard line. And now the Saints will use their 2nd timeout with 40 seconds remaining. What's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report? Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll have highlights from a busy Week 10, including Peyton Manning taking on Cam Newton, Jake Locker returning to the Titans as they meet Miami, and Tom Brady and the Patriots hosting the Bills. So we'll power up Get TV and have everything for you at the Visa halftime.
Oh, Howie and Michael look very studious. Their hands folded. Jimmy relaxing like he normally does.
They're paying close attention, I would assume, to this one. An exciting first half here in New Orleans. Falcons took a 10-0 lead. Then it was the Saints scoring consecutive touchdowns before Tony Gonzalez caught a 1-yard TD pass from Matt Ryan. So the Falcons lead by 3. 40 seconds remaining, second quarter. Saints with 1 timeout remaining. Second down and 4. As Breeze fires, it is Graham, and he is in for his second touchdown and second slam dunk today.
You've got to give your linebacker more help over the top. This is a standard route down in the red zone to the tight end. It's an out and up, and it's a staple in everybody's offense. And if you're going to do this in man coverage, then you've got to give him more safety help over the top. William Moore's got to be able to get there sooner when he drives on the ball.
That's something they're going to have to go and correct at halftime, because if they come out and still play the same defense, or trying to go and cover Jimmy Graham with the linebacker, that's not going to work.
So the former basketball playing tight ends have scored all 3 touchdowns here in the second quarter. First Graham, then Gonzalez, and then Graham again. And the Saints go back on top. They lead by 4 and will get the ball first in the second half. Well, this week, Fox College Saturday begins with a Pac-12 showdown between crosstown rivals, number 19 USC and number 18 UCLA. Then number 12 Oklahoma squares off against the West Virginia Mountaineers. Fox College football begins Saturday at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. 2 touchdowns today for Jimmy Graham. Went to his first Pro Bowl last season. Breeze connecting with Graham for his second touchdown today. We welcome those of you serving around the world watching the Falcons and the Saints in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do. We hope you are enjoying today's telecast on Military Appreciation Day here in New Orleans.
And not only those that are serving now, but those who have served prior, the veterans here on Veterans Day weekend. A group of guys out there pregame today. Very, very emotional at the start of this game.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you for your service, your dedication. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and they are being treated to quite a game here in the Dome as Matt Ryan leads the Falcons offense back out. Ryan 16 of 20. 1 timeout remaining, 34 seconds on the clock. From the 20-yard line on first down. Ryan steps up, down he goes, there is a flag.
Holding, offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Todd McClure, veteran center.
Some positive things right here for this New Orleans Saints defense. The last couple of drives, they are getting to Matt Ryan with just their 4 down.
Yes.
And everybody wanted them to bring the blitz like they did Monday night against Philadelphia. Different game this week, different game plan, and the defensive line of the Saints has risen to the occasion.
Cedric Ellis right on the nose right there. Keep an eye on that guy. Unbelievable motor. Some great moves going against Todd McClure.
First down and 20 as Ryan hands it off to Jaquiz Rogers. Lofton and Harper able to bring him down. Falcons have trailed at halftime only once this season. That was against Oakland. Game they would come back and win by 3. And to take a 10-0 lead early in this one. It's the Saints leading by 4 at the half. 21-17 New Orleans. We will return to the Dome right after these messages. New Orleans Saints lead the Atlanta Falcons as we get set for the start of the third quarter. 21-17. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Falcons led 10-0 early. Saints came back with consecutive touchdowns. Atlanta regained the lead, and then Drew Brees hitting Jimmy Graham in the final minute of the second quarter. It's the Saints by 4. New Orleans will start from their own 20-yard line as Brees leads the Saints offense back out onto the field. Darryl, 2 explosive offenses. We talked about it right from the start. First half lived up to its billing.
Yeah, and I want to see what the changes are made at halftime. Number one, what do the Falcons do to guard Jimmy Graham? What they're doing with the man-to-man situation is not working. And how do the Saints adjust now that Julio Jones is injured and not in the lineup? That's a tough challenge for a defense when you're talking about Roddy White on one side, Julio Jones on the other, Tony Gonzalez working that tight end spot. With Julio Jones out, how do they change their approach?
Chris Ivory takes the handoff from Brees. Vance Walker the tackle. Gain of 2. Goose, you talked moments ago with Falcons head coach Mike Smith. What did he tell you?
Yeah, he said, at halftime, we got the defense down. We have to go and give whoever's covering, Jimmy Graham some help. We're going to try and go and put a safety over the top, and we're going to rotate different guys if we have man-to-man. But we just can't go and get Stephen Nicholas and just put him out there, and because it's just not working. Jimmy Graham's eating us up. So I'm looking to see how they change it up here in the second half.
Saints keep it on the ground. Second straight play with Thomas, and Goose talking about Graham. 5 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns for Graham alone. There are the first half numbers for both teams.
And again, you look at the big plays. We're going to go 15-yard plays. The Saints with 5. A little bit nervous when Atlanta started out with that big 49-yarder on the opening drive to Roddy White. So that Saints defense, which has really, really struggled with the big play, made some adjustments there after that opening series and controlled that a little bit better.
Brees from the shotgun, 3rd down and 7. Movement prior to the snap.
False start, number 9, offense. Hand movement, draw the defense offside. Repeat 3rd down.
The other part of those stats in the first half was time of possession. And, we talked to Drew Brees about that, with the game Monday night in Philadelphia, when Philadelphia held time of possession. And it's something that he keeps an eye on. But as long as they're doing well on the scoreboard at 21-17 time of possession, he'll get a little bit frustrated not having that offense out there as much. But as long as they're productive, he's cool.
Now Brees on 3rd and 12. And his pass is broken up by Asante Samuel, who intercepted Brees on the Saints' first play from scrimmage back in the first quarter.
Watch the drive on the ball. Asante Samuel's going to come in from the top left there, number 22. Look at the drive, and gets that arm across and deflects that ball.
And Darryl, it was 3rd and 12 due to the penalty on the prior play, and that's a new emphasis this season. You think about Peyton Manning with some of his fakes, and we haven't seen it much this year, but Brees was called for it there, forcing the Saints back 5 yards. This is Dominique Franks on the return for Atlanta. Franks out to the 28, a 57-yard punt, as Asante Samuel says, no first down for the Saints. Back in New Orleans, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. First possession of the second half for the Atlanta Falcons. Still without Julio Jones. Perfect season over their first 8 games. Trailing today by 4. As Ryan's pass gets deflected by Corey White, the rookie out of Samford, 5th-round draft pick, getting a piece of it.
Harry Douglas has just got to give a little bit better angle for Matt Ryan to throw around. He comes here, squared off a little bit more. Don't allow Corey White to be able to stay underneath you and have an opportunity to deflect that pass.
Second down and 10, empty backfield. Ryan swings it out incomplete, and then some extracurricular activity. Roddy White and Roman Harper have words. Now, you talked about this rivalry right at the start.
Yeah, it's emotional. They always are. Every division has rivals, and again, this is the Atlanta Falcons nemesis. So this is a little bit more heated from the Atlanta perspective, but I like the way the officials handle that situation. Get the two guys separated. Don't throw a flag on it.
3rd down and 10. Ryan steps up. He fires downfield, and it is picked off by White. Corey White comes up with his first NFL interception. Drew Davis was the intended receiver. What a play by White.
And again, it's an adjustment right now with Julio Jones not on the field. So, you know, everything moves up a notch. You know, Harry Douglas, your 3rd receiver, becomes your 2. Drew Davis, who was your 4th, becomes your 3. And in that situation, you know, Drew Davis has got to know that everybody is viable on that play.
The ruling on the field is confirmed as an interception. It will be Norman's ball, 1st and 10.
And watch Drew Davis there. He's on the go route right there. He kind of gears it down a little bit. You saw right there. Now he's got to pick it up again because he sees that Matt Ryan is throwing him the ball. That allows Corey White to get in better position to make the interception. So again, you know, when people get injured, it's your opportunity. It's that next man up mentality, and Drew Davis has got to know in those situations you can't gear down. Matt Ryan he might want to air that one out and take a shot down the field for a big play.
Only the 5th interception by the Saints defense this season, so Breeze and the offense start from the 19-yard line. Play action on 1st down as Breeze fires, and it is Marcus Colston out across the 30 for a gain of 12.
One of the things that Drew Brees told us on Friday was the offense is starting to find their rhythm, and it's been a difficult transition through the first part of the year with all the changes and all the challenges, and he really feels that, you know, after last week, his team is starting to find its rhythm offensively. We've seen that this afternoon.
From the 31, it's Ingram. And Mark Ingram gains 8 out to the 39-yard line. And you talk about rhythm. We've heard the word normalcy over the last couple of days as far as the Saints organization is concerned.
Well, you know, you've got Mickey Loomis back in the building for the first time this week. You've got Joe Vitt, who's been there now for 3 weeks. And really, you look at them as coaches and as a general manager, but the personality, we sat down with Joe Vitt. You cannot replace that personality in the locker room. So I agree. There is a return to normalcy as much as they're going to get. Everybody is back that is due back.
On 2nd and 2, what a catch by Lance Moore. A spectacular catch for a gain of 29 yards.
We talked about finding that balance, striking that balance between the run and the pass, and we're starting to see it. They're doing a really nice job with the run, and then we get some play action, and that is a fantastic catch by Lance Moore. We talk about people making plays. Somebody's got to go out and make a play. That is a great play by Lance Moore.
Here's Ingram. Picked up by Akeem Dent. Ingram takes it down to the 26-yard line.
It's amazing, Darryl, watching a lot of these big plays and these great catches. But the coverage really is not bad in a lot of these catches. The quarterbacks are putting it right in the right spot. Look right underneath there. Akeem Dent is in perfect position. He's between the quarterback and the receiver. I mean, it's not bad coverage.
Ready. Wait, like that.
On 2nd and 4 off the play fake to Chris Ivory. Breeze checks it down to Ivory. And Ivory takes it to the 12-yard line as he says, take that, Dante Robinson.
He just runs angry. I mean, he does. He's so physical. And, I mean, you get checked down into the flat, and it's just you and Chris Ivory. And he's coming down. He is going to drop the shoulder on you. Again, there it is, whether it's the run game, the dump-off pass. Look at the pad level. I mean, he hardly breaks stride when he delivers that shot. Dante Robinson is a pretty tough tackling corner.
Just pass to Sean Jackson. From the 13, it is Ingram. Mark Ingram down to the 6-yard line of the Falcons.
And this is definitely an influence of Joe Vitt being back. And, you know, this is his 3rd week. He looked at things while he was gone. He felt they'd become too reliant on the pass play, wanted to get back and get the run game moving. We saw it against Philadelphia Monday night, and we're seeing it again here this afternoon. And this will help Drew Brees in that passing game a ton.
Yeah, you hit it nail on the head, man. Running the ball is an attitude, and that's something that this team has at Joe Vitt.
And now Brees hits Colston for a Saints touchdown. Marcus Colston tying the Saints franchise record, his 55th career touchdown, tying Deuce McAllister. Ball across the plane. Saints extend their lead. Hartley, the extra point. New Orleans by 11. They use the run to set up the pass. 3rd touchdown pass for Brees today. Saints drive 7 plays, 81 yards. Brees perfect on the drive, and Colston ties the franchise record for career touchdowns.
And how funny is that? That kind of sums up the way they've started this half. The 3 and out there on that last series, which they've had a ton of this year, and then they follow that up with an 80-plus yard touchdown drive.
Brees hit Jimmy Graham for a pair of touchdowns in the 2nd quarter. Early 3rd, it's Marcus Colston. Check this out, both quarterbacks 16 of 23. Brees 3 touchdown passes, Ryan with 2. Remember, Ryan started the game 9 for 9. He started the 2nd half 0 for 3 with a pick. Hands it off to Michael Turner, and a trio of Saints wraps up Turner. Gain of just 1.
You know, the passing game is one thing, Kenny, but it's all about on the ground. Look at this right here. New Orleans just dominating, totally dominating the run game, and it's because of Atlanta and their tackling. You know, watching these guys tackle, it's after the hit of the initial guy. They're getting all this hitted yardage, and they got to be tackling better in order to slow them down at all.
2nd down and 9. Ryan to the outside, and a diving catch is made by Roddy White. About 2 yards shy of the marker. Falcons find themselves in a very unfamiliar position as Corey White limps off and Julio Jones returns for the Falcons. This is the first time Falcons have trailed by double digits all season.
Corey White at the end of this play. You see him pull up right there.
Top of the screen, Julio Jones split out wide to the left. Quarter down at 2. And Ryan's pass is broken up. Curtis Lofton. You know, he's enjoying playing against his former team today.
Curtis Lofton here kind of walked up like he's going to come with pressure. And he ends up with Roddy White in coverage. Roddy White looking for a little bit of a hold. As long as they don't see it, Kenny, you got to let go of it. You can get a hand on it a little bit, but then you just got to let it go real quick.
That's right. Bosher punting for the third time. Taken at the 23 by Cadet. Jason Snelling downfield to make the tackle on special teams. He spent the last 4 seasons in Atlanta. Now a member of Who Dat Nation. Matt Ryan of the Falcons never trailed by more than 7 points in a game all season. It's now an 11-point New Orleans Saints lead. Saints start from their own 25-yard line. The toss to Ivory. Looks to cut it back inside. Ray Edwards right there to make the tackle.
That's a nice play by Ray Edwards, because that's a toss crack. You're going to have somebody coming in from the outside. Good communication with the Atlanta defense to alert Ray Edwards. He's got a blocker coming in from the outside. We'll see if he got a handful of face mask. Well, it looked like he got the dreads, which is part of the uniform. So the fans here were upset. But if you're going to wear dreads on the field, people are going to tackle you by your dreads, and that's just part of the game.
And tackled by pulling the hair. That is legal. Second down and 12. Breeze to Cadet. Cadet up the sideline to the 29. Time for a game break. What's going on with the Giants and the Bengals? Patrick O'Neill.
Well, Kenny, I tell you, the Giants are in big trouble. Andy Dalton, Jermaine Gresham, 10-yard touchdown coming off of a really bad Eli Manning interception. 2 turnovers on the day for the Giants, and they're going to need some magic to come back in this one, down 24-6. Kenny, Moose and Goose.
Giants coming off the home loss to the Steelers last Sunday. Trailed by 18 in Cincinnati.
Well, that's making the America's Game of the Week even bigger right now with Dallas and Philadelphia.
Third down and 6. Breeze steps up, throws, and the catch is made for a first down. It's Jimmy Graham once again. Gain of 11, Graham's 6th reception.
Well, they talk about changing it up. Robert McClain on Jimmy Graham right here.
Well, that's your matchup problem, Tony. We're going to put a corner on him. Okay, we got a size issue. We'll put a linebacker on him. Well, we've got a speed issue. That's what Jimmy Graham does.
You got an issue no matter what.
Yeah, I think you need to double him right now.
On first down, up the middle is Ingram for a gain of 5.
We've talked about this Saints offense getting into a rhythm. And there's the 11-play drive. They only have a punt and the TD, then a punt. That 3 and out, that is something they've got to sort out. The drive, the third one down there, 3 plays, minus 2 yards. It's something that they have done way too frequently this season.
Steven Nicholas in to make the tackle, along with Croy Bierman.
They got Croy Bierman doing all kinds of stuff, Darryl. I saw him drop into coverage a couple times. I saw him playing outside on the end, inside. Versatile guy.
He's a good football player.
Yeah.
Got some bad contacts.
Man, what was that? Tell him Halloween was over?
Nah. Saints look to extend this drive. Third down and 7. They must get to midfield. Breeze in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 36-yard line. It is Steven Nicholas forcing the Saints to send out the punting unit.
Steven Nicholas missed him the first time, and then it kept working. But I want you to watch Drew Brees on this. I still think it's a good job by him not turning the ball over. Steven Nicholas is behind him, and you just kind of sense that, and you get 2 hands on it and take the sack, but don't give up the sack fumble.
First sack of the season for Nicholas. Their catch called for at the 16-yard line by Franks. The 8-0 Falcons trailing by 11. A late flag has been thrown following the fair catch. Tony Correnti discussing it with his crew.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness out of bounds, number 35 on the receiving team. This penalty will be assessed half the least considered goal, first down.
Mike Smith will not be happy with Antone Smith. Saints by 11. Veterans Day parade yesterday here in New Orleans. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. 45 points so far in this one, as Ryan hits Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez out to the 17-yard line.
You know, Kenny, at the top of the broadcast, we said if Atlanta plays their style of football, they've got a great chance to win this game and earn respect. And they haven't played that way today. One of the big things, the penalties. You look at Atlanta with 4 penalties right now, but it's also the style. The Asante Samuel William Moore unnecessary celebration at the end of the interception. That was an unsportsmanlike personal foul out of bounds on a fair caught punt.
Ryan on 2nd and 1. Pass was knocked out. 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Now, what Atlanta has done during the course of the season has become the least penalized team in the NFL. The way they do that is Mike Smith on Monday, the first thing he looks at is the penalty board, and he will address every single one of these penalties in front of his team and make them accountable. And he'll do them by foolish, by a critical mistake. I think it's a great concept. It helps minimize. I've heard teams put officials on the field. That doesn't work. I love Mike Smith's penalty board concept.
Yeah. Ryan on a sneak. Looks to have the first down. So Monday morning, William Moore and Antone Smith may want to hide in the back of the room.
Exactly, because those were penalties that put your offense backed up. You're down by 11, and it's a fair caught punt, and you have a penalty out of bounds. The celebration after the interception, you're going to have 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Now you're at the 27. You end up getting a field goal. So,
you know what? Yeah, you know what? I think him going and bringing it in front of the whole team keeps you accountable and points out, hey, these are dumb penalties. If we get rid of these, you're going to have our offense in better field position, and we're just going to do better as a team.
Off the play fake. Ryan rolling right. Can't find the one. Slides down at the 20.
Jabari Greer working against Roddy White right here. Julio Jones, and we'll keep an eye on him and see how he's doing. I don't know, what his status is right now. We saw him on the first play come off on just a little bit of a hitch.
Looked like he had a pretty good get off on that one, though.
Yeah, but Julio's got breakaway speed. That's not Julio Jones right there.
2nd down and 9. Ryan's pass caught out at the 28-yard line by Tony Gonzalez. Time for another game break with Kirk.
Well, the Giants have turned it over 3 consecutive possessions here in the 3rd quarter. Cincinnati taking advantage. Andy Dalton to Mohamed Sanu. Dalton's 4th touchdown pass of the game. There's still 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and they're rolling 31-6 over the Giants. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Big day for Andy Dalton. Bengals looking to break their 4-game losing streak here in New Orleans. An 11-point lead for the Saints. And there are penalty markers. It looks like Turner is going to throw that one.
Doesn't matter now. Drew Davis.
Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
That's 19, Drew Davis.
Again, it's an opportunity for you to play because of the injury to Julio Jones.
Already 2 above their season average. Least penalized team in the league coming into this game. 4th down and 6. Ryan to the outside, and a catch is made for a Falcons first down. That's the first catch for Jones since suffering the injury in the first half. It's a gain of 9.
I give him a lot of credit right now because you know he's doesn't have a lot of confidence, and this is a start and stop with the injury that he has.
Just having him out there, though, has got to be motivation for this whole team. Hey, listen, let's just keep fighting through this. He's a weapon out there, I'll tell you what.
He's going to draw some attention.
He is definitely drawing attention by that secondary. I mean, they're always trying to look and see what number 11 is.
From the 32, on first down. Ryan, nice soft touch to Gonzalez into Saints territory.
Totally Gonzalez. I love Darrell after he catches the ball. He knows he's in the middle of the field. He knows he has a safety over the top. Watch how fast he goes and gets this ball, gets down, and avoids the hit. Here he is right here. Boom, knows the safety. Boom, down, cover himself. That's a great job by Tony Gonzalez of being aware of who's over the top of you.
His 8th catch, Goose, 92 yards, and a touchdown. Final seconds, third quarter. Falcons do not have to run a play, and they will not. So 3 quarters in the books here in New Orleans. Falcons 8-0 on the move, but they trail the Saints by 11. We head to the 4th quarter in New Orleans. The Falcons, the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL at 8-0, trail by 11. 1st and 10 for Atlanta from the New Orleans 49-yard line. As Ryan throws over the middle, and it's caught by Harry Douglas for a Falcons first down. Now they say it is incomplete. Ball hit the ground.
And Harry Douglas was walking towards the sideline trying to convince Mike Smith to challenge us. Let's see what happens at the end of this.
I think he's got that there. I think his hand was up underneath the ball.
Question is, did he have possession before the ball hit the ground? And Mike Smith has thrown the challenge flag.
Well, he was definitely not picking it up off the turf. The question is, did
Atlanta
he bobble it to the turf?
challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
But first look, we think that it will be ruled a catch. Tony Corrente will take a couple of looks. Back in New Orleans, Tony Corrente getting ready to announce his decision on the last play, which was ruled an incomplete pass intended for Harry Douglas. Since it was ruled incomplete, there must be conclusive evidence.
After the play, the ruling on the field stands as an incomplete pass. Atlanta will be charged with a timeout. With the play clock operator, please reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Thank you.
Harry Douglas not happy with the call. We check in with our rules analyst, Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. Mike, what do you think?
I think Tony Corrente did the only thing he could do, which was stay with the ruling on the field stands, which, remember, that says he can't tell one way or another. So you couldn't actually have enough video evidence to switch it to a completed pass. He did the right thing.
Thanks, Mike. So instead of a 1st and 10 at the Saints 28, it is 2nd and 10 back at the 49. Ryan looking, he throws, and it's knocked down. There is a flag. Lofton got a piece of the pass. Penalty marker back at the 44-yard line.
The pressure came from Will Smith.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, defense number 91. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Will Smith.
Working from that defensive end position against Sam Baker. As he comes up, you see that hand underneath the face mask. Yep, he never got it off on his way to the quarterback.
So an automatic first down for the Falcons, trailing by 11. From the Saints 44. Ryan throws, it's caught. No doubt about it, this time it's Douglas for an Atlanta first down at the New Orleans 21, a 23-yard pass play.
Well, Matt Ryan saw something because at the line of scrimmage, he audibled off, not only with his hand signals, but with his voice. And he just goes and splits the middle of that defense.
Nice spin by Harry after the catch. Rodgers in the backfield. Julio Jones split wide to the right. 10th play of the drive for the Falcons. From the 21, Ryan dumps it off to Rodgers, and Rodgers takes it inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line of the Saints.
And this is what Tony Gonzalez does to a defense once you get near the red zone. All your attention goes to number 88, and Atlanta has a great play call to take advantage of that. As he releases to the flat and everybody goes that way, they slip Jaquiz Rodgers into that empty spot.
Right behind all the pressure that the Saints were bringing. 6 guys on that last play.
Falcons empty the backfield. First and goal from the 6. Ryan throws, end zone, touchdown! It is Tony Gonzalez again.
Again, it's good coverage. I mean, this time they actually have doubled him. It's amazing how he can work through all this press. Roman Harper's on top, press coverage. Look at the way they're competing. There's Curtis Lofton coming through from the inside out. Great confidence by Matt Ryan to know that Tony Gonzalez is going to go up and make that play.
His second touchdown today, number 101 of his career, now all alone in 6th place. As far as career touchdown receptions. 3rd touchdown pass for Matt Ryan. The unbeaten Falcons are within 4. The Atlanta Falcons drive 91 yards in 11 plays. Second touchdown today for Tony Gonzalez.
A couple of good ones in this game today. And that basketball background, it's amazing. The body positioning, I think, Tony, is one of the greatest things that carries over from playing basketball to playing tight end in the NFL.
He's boxing the other guy out, so he can't go and get the rebound, I think.
Now, that's some of these catches are just the guy going up for the rebound.
Look at this. I mean, I'll tell you what, if you're a college basketball player, you just go, you know, after practice or something like that, go out and go buy a jugs machine and just start catching the football, because I think every team in the NFL is going to be looking to go and get some big basketball players who can catch the football and put them at the tight end position after watching this game.
2 touchdowns apiece for Gonzalez and Graham. Saints lead by 4. Starts from their own 20-yard line. Breeze underneath. And the catch is made by Lance Moore. Akeem Dent tackle.
Just to show you part of that basketball background, Tony Gonzalez still being able to get up and stuff it. Jimmy Graham, a little bit younger, he might be able to elevate a little bit more.
He brought it out a little bit more, man, and like held it for a minute.
And that crossbar, 10 feet high, same as a basketball rim. Second down at 6. This is Ingram. Again, finally brings it down. Mark Ingram out to the 28-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 2.
A little bit better tackling by that Atlanta defense. Now, one thing they're doing right now is they're not just letting one guy go and solo tackle. They're going gang tackling right now. They're running through the ball. They know there's a sense of urgency, and if they want any chance of winning this game, they're going to have to stop New Orleans offense. They do that by hustling.
Third down and 2 for the Saints.
23 Peyton Knox, driver. 23 Peyton Knox, driver.
Play clock winding down. Saints get the snap away just in time. Catch is bobbled, and then Devery Henderson could not hang on. McLean on the coverage. Saints will punt it away.
Drew Brees going all the way down to the wire on this one to get his protection squared up. I mean, you're showing pressure here and here. Which way are you going to turn everything? He finally gets it dialed in, gets that line to slide the right way. And good tight coverage by Robert McLean, not allowing Devery Henderson 2 touches on that catch.
Akeem Dent brought a little bit of pressure right in Drew's face on that pass.
Orsted punting from his own 17. Franks will let it bounce. And it sets up good field position for the undefeated Falcons. Falcons' first 8-0 start. But being the last team to lose a game in the regular season does not necessarily guarantee success in the postseason. In fact, the last team to win a Super Bowl that had been the last undefeated team, the Colts, back in 2006. Packers last year, 13-0.
Absolutely.
Did not win a championship.
Recent history. It's become a league of who's playing the best football at the end of the season, with the Giants winning the Super Bowl last year, the Packers 2 years ago. Those were the two hot teams going into the end of the season and into the playoffs.
So now the Falcons scored a touchdown on their last possession. Start at their own 31. Bryant looking to throw on first down. Gets rid of it just in time, and it's Gonzalez out to the 38 for a gain of 7 for Gonzalez's 10th reception, and he is over 100 yards for the game.
No, it's great looking at Tony Gonzalez, but watch this pickup by Blaylock here at the end. If he doesn't pick, if he doesn't pick that person up right there, couldn't catch the number.
Kirk McBride, number 90.
McBride. I'll tell you what, the ball might be going in the opposite direction, because that would probably have been a turnover.
Second down and 3. Bryant going deep for Julio Jones, who goes up and makes the catch. What a catch by Jones. With Jabari Greer on the coverage, Jones injured in the first half, and now there's a late flag. A very late flag has been thrown after the play.
That came from right along the Saints bench area.
Flag was thrown around the 21-yard line, as you said, near the Saints sideline.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's a defensive team for coaches being outside the coaching box. This penalty assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
Coaches cannot be inside the 32-yard line. Coach's box on the sideline.
Again, so much credit for Julio Jones right now. I mean, going up, elevating on that play. I mean, he missed the majority of the first half after hurting his ankle.
A 42-yard pass play.
I tell you what, a lot of credit to Matt Ryan. This is a progression in his game, knowing he has athletic guys on the outside, and when you've got one-on-one, putting that ball up in the air and letting them have a chance to make a play.
First and goal from the 5 as Turner gets tripped up by Tom Johnson.
Tom Johnson, a couple of nice plays down here in this goal line defense. Earlier in the game, he had another one where it was his penetration that caused a negative play down here.
Jones split wide to the right. Roddy White slot to the right. Second and goal. Ryan out of the shotgun. Bryant looking end zone. Throws underneath. Rodgers, what a hit from Jonathan Casillas on Jaquiz Rodgers.
That is textbook tackling.
Look at the mark on the top of his helmet right there. Wow, from that tackle. Did you see that? You see it's nice squared up. Boom. Follows through. And that's just called stopped in your tracks.
One-on-one with Julio down below.
Ryan looking for Jones in the end zone. A diving attempt. No flags.
Malcolm Jenkins this afternoon asked to cover Tony Gonzalez in these situations one-on-one. Now asked to cover Julio Jones one-on-one in this situation.
We welcome those of you who have just joined us. A diving attempt to the end zone by Julio Jones with the Falcons trailing the Saints by 4. Here is Matt Bryant now to attempt a 20-yard field goal from the left hash. Kenny Albert, Donald Johnston, Tony Saragusa coming to you from New Orleans as the undefeated 8-0 Falcons, who trailed by 11 entering this fourth quarter, have pulled to within one. Back in New Orleans, 1-point lead for the Saints. Julio Jones with a huge play, setting up the Matt Bryant field goal. Matt Ryan, 341 yards in the air today for the Falcons, who look to remain unbeaten. Saints have other ideas. Saints started the season 0-4. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. General manager Mickey Loomis returned this week without head coach Sean Payton, and we heard Jay Glazer on the pregame show. Jay mentioning that the NFL has given the Saints written permission to General Manager Mickey Loomis to try and get the contract situation all worked out.
But I think the big thing is the fact that Mickey Loomis is now back with the Saints. Joe Vitt came back 3 weeks ago. They're getting back to normalcy. And I think when the season started, we had them in week 1. But hey, we're going to be fine. We're just going to go out and play football. We don't have some key pieces, but we'll be okay. It was hard to replace those personalities.
Have a look at Mickey Loomis upstairs as Breeze is able to get rid of it. Pass is short, intended for Mark Ingram.
That guy right there, I mean, we sat down and talked with him Friday. His personality, you saw him working the officials on the sidelines on that call with the defensive bench. I mean, you can't replace that. You can't replace the personality of Joe Vitt in your locker room, on your practice field. So there were several voids that needed to be refilled. And with everybody coming back, you know, that's why this team is finding the rhythm and starting to hit their stride.
Second down at 10. Breeze steps up and throws, and Lance Moore picks up a first down out to the 37-yard line for Moore, his 7th reception today.
Yeah, these guys are so good together when you talk Drew Brees and Lance Moore. It's just difficult to cover these guys. And you watch Drew in the pocket. I mean, he's scanning the entire field, back and forth, moving, extending the play. Look at him. And he's able to find it. I mean, it puts so much pressure on that secondary of the Falcons.
From the 37-yard line, it's Ivory. Stays on his feet somehow and takes it out to the 42-yard line.
He's fun to watch.
You know, we talk about tackling, but that's no chance for a defensive lineman. Great spin right here, boom. Keeps his feet going. Heads downfield. That's how you got to tackle him right there. You got to gang tackle him.
Ivory with a 56-yard touchdown run back in the first quarter. After the Falcons took an early 10-0 lead. Second down and 6. Again, it's Ivory and Troy Bierman able to come up and make the tackle.
Par for the course this afternoon. New Orleans struggling all season long. They've been over 420 in every game. Yards given up by that defense. New Orleans getting that offense in gear here in week 10.
Approaching 400 themselves. Third down and 6. Saints must get to the 47 for a first down. And they do. It is Jimmy Graham down the sidelines. Another huge connection from Breeze to Graham.
With that pump fake, you wonder if William Moore bit on the double move again. They've run the ball effectively, but Drew Brees told us, if I see a matchup on the outside that I like, I'm getting out of it and I'm taking advantage of it. Exactly. Slant and go. William Moore jumps a slant.
Got caught looking.
46 yards. A career-high 146 in the game for Graham. Now on first down, it's Ingram. Tried to bounce it to the outside. And it's down back at the 13-yard line. Loss of a yard with 6.5 remaining. Fourth quarter here in New Orleans, and the Saints leading by 1. Gonzalez with 2 touchdowns for the Falcons. Graham has 2. What a game. Second down at 11. Breeze looking for Travaris Cadet. The pass is short.
No pressure in the pocket on Drew Brees at that time. Good job by the Atlanta Falcons defense. They had everybody covered up.
Yeah, he was looking at Jimmy Graham, but they did a good job of covering him, like you said, Darryl.
Third down and 11. From the 13-yard line. Breeze, a pump fake. Breeze to the end zone. And it is incomplete. Marcus Colston, the intended receiver. There were 3 Falcons in the vicinity. He took a hit from Asante Samuel.
Asante Samuel does a nice job of coming off of his man. He's on the outside on Lance Moore. There's 22 in the end zone. He sees Marcus Colston coming free and is able to come off his guy and get in there and make some contact to jar that ball loose. Marcus Colston is excellent at catching the ball in traffic.
Caught a touchdown earlier, so here is Hartley. 31-yard attempt from the left hash.
Ball's gone.
Hartley's kick is straight through. So the Saints lead over the Falcons is 4. Saints drive 9 plays, 67 yards. Big 46-yard reception by Jimmy Graham, who's gone well over the 100-yard mark. As have 2 Falcons. Just under 6 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Saints leading by 4. Matt Ryan and the Falcons will start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, Matt Ryan and the Falcons have had their share of some offensive success today, too. It's been a tight end day. Jimmy Graham for the Saints and Tony Gonzalez for the Falcons. Tight coverage by the Saints defense. But Matt Ryan and Tony Gonzalez developing some nice chemistry down in that red zone.
Ryan with his 14th 300-yard game of his career. 4 of the 14 have come against the Saints. Falcons undefeated, trailing New Orleans by 4. Play clock at 3. Ryan to the outside, it's Roddy White. Spins out to the 27-yard line, gain of 7.
I think the Saints have done a good job this afternoon balancing their looks against the Falcons defense. They brought the blitz occasionally like they did on that last play, but you have to take your hats off to the front 4 of the New Orleans Saints defense. They've been getting a lot of pressure just on their own. Steve Spagnuolo hasn't had to dial up a lot of blitzes.
And a great job by the guys outside, too, in the open field tackles they've been making.
On 2nd and 3, pass is short. Intended for White. Harper on the coverage. 3rd down and 3 upcoming for the Falcons to trail by 4.
You talk about a big 3rd down. Here's one right here. I mean, this Saints offense has been in a rhythm all half. And the Falcons cannot come out here and have a 3 and out in this situation.
When in doubt, find your tight end, Tony Gonzalez.
Ryan on 3rd and 3, and the catch is made by Rodgers. And Quiz Rodgers takes it up to the 42-yard line after the change of direction. He gains 14 yards.
This is great formationing, Tony, because they put Roddy White and Julio Jones to the left, and then they slip Jaquiz Rodgers out. So you've got all this attention. Both of those routes go to the inside. They affect Curtis Lofton's approach to get out to the outside to cover Jaquiz Rodgers. Great play design on that 3rd down.
Under 5 minutes remaining from the 41. Ryan backpedaling, spins away, Now he throws, and it's broken up. It was intended for Gonzalez. Issa Abdul-Kaydus breaking up the pass.
And again, here's some of that pressure with just the 4 down linemen. They've been able to get Matt Ryan off of his spot on several occasions this afternoon.
Second down and 10. 4:32 remaining. Ryan on second down. Dumps it off to Jason Snelling. He gets tripped up by Roman Harper at the 47-yard line. A gain of 6. So it will be third down and 4.
Good positive yards. They'll put you in a nice manageable third down.
Third and 4. Ryan looking. Ryan throws to the outside, and the catch is made for a first down in Saints territory by Harry Douglas. He needed 4, and he gained 8.
And we keep talking about all these weapons, and now we've got Harry Douglas getting in on the show too, coming out of that bunch formation. I mean, it's easy to lose track of Harry Douglas when it's Roddy White and Tony Gonzalez as the other elements of that bunch.
And Darryl, for Matt Ryan, a new career high, 376 yards in the air. His previous high, 373 against the Saints last season. From the New Orleans 45, Ryan throws, and it's caught by Gonzalez for another Atlanta first down at the Saints 27 as Gonzalez picks up 17.
Tony Gonzalez just working that seam. Good bend over the top of Roman Harper. And again, we've seen this a couple of times. Great feel for where that safety help is over the top.
11th reception for Gonzalez today. From the Saints 28. Rodgers. Here's Rodgers inside the 15, down to the 10.
That's a cut.
18 yards for Rodgers.
Unbelievable. You know, the big thing is he bounces outside very quickly. There's no run support down here on this part of the field. Watch when he gets out there. Issa Abdul-Kaydus is dropping down, but you quiz Rodgers.
When he stops this, look at that inside foot.
2.5 remaining. First and goal from the Saints 10. Ryan to Douglas. And Harry Douglas is stopped short. He was ruled down at the 1-yard line before the ball came loose.
The receiver was ruled down by contact.
That looked like Harry Douglas is trying to throw the ball into the end zone. I thought he had control when he was on his back on the ground, and he was trying to extend it out.
Oh, the whistle also blew.
Well, we have hit the 2-minute warning here in New Orleans. When we return, second and goal for the Falcons from the Saints 1-yard line. Well, Joe Vitt has challenged the ruling of down by contact on the last play because the play took place prior to the 2-minute warning. It must be challenged by the Saints.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down by contact as his elbow was on the ground prior to him losing the football. New Orleans will be charged with their first timeout.
Yeah, the fans here aren't going to be happy, but not only elbow, but also watch the left knee as well. So, to me, there goes left knee right there. Down, still has possession. So
Douglas down. Mike Pereira with us from Los Angeles. Mike, you agree with the call on the ruling?
Absolutely, and we found the right shot. You saw that the left knee was down first, and he still had control of the ball, and that puts him down by contact.
So now, 2nd and goal from the 1. Mike Johnson in as it helps the blocker. Off the play fake. Ryan to the end zone, broken up by Jenkins. Gonzalez, the intended receiver.
We have had some great battles down here in the red zone. Tony Gonzalez coming from the opposite side on the drag route. He's got a step on Malcolm Jenkins, but he makes it up and just extends and knocks that ball away at the last second.
I'm really surprised they're not trying to run the ball a little bit to take some of that time off of the clock, or at least a timeout for New Orleans. You don't want to give Drew Brees close to 2 minutes getting the ball back.
3rd and goal, Turner cannot get in.
You got to throw the best play in your book to get ahead, Tony. We're not talking about kicking a field goal here. They need 7, so it's 4 down territory. You got to go with your best play to score.
They got 2 more.
Well, just 1 more now. It's 4th and goal.
I tell you, this is reminiscent of a great goal line stand against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'd given up a 95-yard pass to Vincent Jackson. And really in a pivotal game for the Saints season at that time, they were really struggling. Their defense came out and with 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, turned away the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on 4 straight plays and went on to win that game.
Well, if I'm the defense for the New Orleans Saints right now, I want to see where number 88 lines up, Tony Gonzalez. Because he is Matt Ryan's go-to guy. And if he has even a chance of being open a little bit, we've seen him beat double coverage, beat coverage right over the top. I mean, that's the guy you want to go to in a situation like this, in my opinion.
They're going with a 2 tight end package, so the other guy I was going to mention is Harry Douglas, but he's not on the field right now.
4th and goal from the 2. Bryant takes the snap, looking end zone, he throws and it's broken up. Roddy White, the intended receiver, Jabari Greer, got a hand in.
I don't know, I think if you're going to commit to the pass, you go with your 3 wide receiver set that has been a good set for you on this drive. You get Harry Douglas on the field as opposed to putting Michael Palmer out there. But again, we have seen great competition in the red zone. Both teams this afternoon, guys making plays for touchdown, guys extending and knocking balls away.
Look at Tony Gonzalez right there, wide open. Matt just couldn't find him.
So now the Saints, with 1:42 remaining, take over. The Falcons have 2 timeouts remaining.
Mike 5. Mike 5-2. 5-2. Ready. You ready, my son?
Saints with a 4-point lead as Thomas takes the handoff. Falcons use their first timeout with 1:38. Coming up, following the Saints and Falcons, the Pepsi Game Break Show. Recap of the early games. And then America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the Cowboys and the Eagles.
One of the things that the New Orleans Saints have talked about this year of being able to do is a 4-minute situation. Well, this is not a 4-minute situation. This is less than that. This is a 1:38 situation. They have got to be able to take the time off of this clock and end this game. You do not want to give Matt Ryan and that offense one more shot. They have the ability with the timeout remaining to get the ball back. And if they don't move it off this, they'll have decent field position.
They'll get it back around the 52nd mark if the Saints do not pick up a first down. So now the Falcons will use their final timeout with 1:34 remaining. So the Saints will run their 3rd down play. Falcons out of timeouts. This Wednesday on Fox, the X Factor is all new live. The judges have had their share of disagreements about the top 12, but your opinion is the only one that matters. Your vote decides their fate. The X Factor, true talent, raw reality, this Wednesday and Thursday on Fox. Great reality television today from the Dome in New Orleans. Mike Smith and the Falcons undefeated, 8-0, going up against their longtime division rivals, the New Orleans Saints, who lead by 4 with a minute 34 remaining in the fourth.
Just vintage New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons matchup, as it's been over the last 4 to 6 years. Down to the wire, one possession games most of the time.
Hey, it's Mike Bob 3, Mike Bob 3. Ready? Ready, Bashad? Ready for 90, Bashad?
On third down and 10, it is Ingram. So now the Falcons cannot stop the clock. Saints will let it run down and then punt it away. So the Falcons will get the ball back with between 45 and 50 seconds remaining. And they should have a short field as Morstead gets set to punt from the end zone.
You wonder, right now he can catch the ball, take off, kill some time, take that safety. That gets it to 33. You're still going to lose by the touchdown anyways.
Now the Saints use a timeout. Drew Brees hitting Marcus Colston. This gave the Saints an 11-point lead. And then Gonzalez with his second touchdown today. Jabari Correa breaking up the pass intended for Roddy White. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in New Orleans. Falcons will get the ball back as the Saints get set to punt. The 8-0 Falcons trailing New Orleans by 4.
Wow, nice punt by Thomas Morstead.
Taken up the 40 by Harry Douglas. Douglas cuts up the middle to the 44-yard line. So the Falcons must drive 56 yards. Now there is a flag. Flag back at the 7-yard line following the punt. Career day for Matt Ryan. Third most passing yards in franchise history.
Holding, receiving team number 90. This penalty is just 10 yards from the end of the pit. First down.
Very, very uncharacteristic for Atlanta during the course of this game today. The least penalized team in the NFL, and they have had a couple of really, really bad penalties. Have really impacted their team.
That's another 10 yards. Matt Ryan and this offense are going to have to go and travel because they have to score a touchdown in this game to win.
So now, Goose, the Falcons must go 69 yards in 37 seconds without a timeout to keep their perfect season alive. Ryan on first down to the outside. It's Douglas. Douglas steps out of bounds at the 40. 9-yard reception. 31 seconds remaining. The most fourth quarter comebacks since 2008, including 3 this season. Falcons need to go 60 yards in 31 seconds. Ryan, was he across the line? Pass sails out of bounds. He was close to the line of scrimmage. Your entire body and the ball must be across. No flags.
The blue line is a line of scrimmage right here. If you watch Matt Ryan, part of his body is still behind the line right there when he throws the ball.
Well, welcome to those of you who have just joined us. 24 seconds remaining. The undefeated Falcons trailing by 4. As Ryan fires downfield. Roddy White about 2 yards shy.
Wow, that was scary for Saints fans. Roddy White had gotten behind the Saints defense. Roddy White at the top of the screen as he sees Matt Ryan start to scramble, just continues down the field. Issa Abdul-Quddus kind of loses track of the flight of that ball.
Yeah, if Roddy White keeps running, he might have caught that ball.
Fourth and 1. 16 seconds remaining. Gonzalez unable to make the catch. The Saints and their fans celebrate. So do the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
While at a critical play in the game, you go to your go-to guy, and he has had a fantastic game this afternoon and just came up one play short. You can throw that ball to Tony Gonzalez 100 times, and that might be the only time that happens.
He caught 11 today, including 2 touchdowns, but could not come up with that catch. The Falcons' perfect season will come to an end here in New Orleans.
You got to take your hats off to this New Orleans defense. They played a great game today, a full game.
You know what, and something that's going to be overlooked in this, but Thomas Morstead's punt out of the end zone and that coverage, and then also the penalty during that play. What a huge, incredible job by that Saints punt team to flip that field when they were backed up.
These teams will do it again in 18 days in Atlanta. The Saints back in the hunt. They've won 4 of their last 5. There are no more undefeated teams in the NFL. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long. Now time for the Pepsi game break. Here's Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt, take it.